Getting ready to go racing from virtual Daytona. Welcome on it all to the opening round of the Mike's Paint Design Xfinity Series. Nate Lehman, Josh Arnold starting on the front row, the 14 and the 22 side by side. Big shout out to J-Paw in that 22 car, offering some bits in the chat. Getting ready to go racing. If you just joined us, I'm Rick James, bringing you uninterrupted green flag coverage of the season opener from virtual Daytona. This is going to be something else. Everybody knows that I love plate racing. I love plate tracks, and it's a season opener. There's just an air of so much fun, so much to play for, but so much celebration as well. Shat Swatsworth in the number 1 Pink Monster Energy car. He's hoping for a good race tonight. Can't forget about Enrique Quiñones in that number 9, rounding out the top 10. Kurt Swatsworth in the 15th position. Mike Allen starting 20th. Travis Anderson rounding out the field in 26th. Back to Nate Lehman, who's going to bring the field to the line. Hang on and get ready for this. It's the season opener of Mike's Paint and Design Xfinity from Daytona. Let's go racing! Coming out of the 4th corner, Josh Arnold leads Nate Lehman. Michael York sits in the 3rd position. Then you've got Hunter Peach in 4th, Drew Jua in the 5th position. The top 10 all separated by 0.6 of a second. Meredith in that number 17 all the way at the back card, trying to get their spot back up on the racetrack. Pete wishing good luck to everybody. Joker Age saying good luck as well. Go Cold Dog Racing from Hop Along Cassidy. Boehner says feel free to grab me mid-race, so I will. Cindy Thompson also cheering on for Josh Arnold as well, leading in the 22. York to the outside. Out of that 4th corner now, Arnold, Lehman, York, your top 3. Michael York has a great run on the outside now, getting a big push behind him from the number 26 Supra of Hunter Peach. So many nerves for these drivers. It is a season opener, but still so much can happen. They've got to get comfortable and ride around for the first few laps. Josh Franks in the number 6 car, running in the 6th position. Matt Boone in the number 38 car, now to the outside, trying to get some semblance of a draft. Josh Arnold looks like he has cleared that high line, and he's now our undisputed leader. Nate Lehman sits in the 2nd position. Let's ride around with Nate for a lap and see how he enjoys Daytona. Arnold, York, Peach now being scored as your top 3. Hunter Peach makes it into the 3rd position. Here comes Nate Lehman also battling with him, and there is no respite at the front of this field. Everybody trying to race for that spot. Racing Fan Zero says, good luck to all. He's definitely hoping for a good race, and it has been thus far. Shane Wagner says, GOAT of broadcasters up in here. Michigan Spider-Man Wagner. I was just commentating his modified race at Iowa. Quite a thrilling event. And if you've just joined us like Shane, I'm Rick James bringing you uninterrupted green flag coverage of of the Turn Down for What Xfinity series from Virtual Daytona. I just got done with OG. We're not doing that now. Now we're doing the Xfinity cars, and it's Michael York and Josh Arnold who are rocking that front row. Chad Swatsworth also battling with Drew Jua. These two trying to figure out just what puzzle piece goes where. Look at them barrel down into 3, 2 by 2, 7 rows deep. Shane Wagner says, got you all confused seeing my name. Absolutely he did, Shane. But thanks for tuning in, pal. 7 laps into this race. It has still not changed at the front. Josh Arnold and Michael York still battling side by side for these lead positions. Rounding out that top 10 as the 28 car of Jordan Bain goes for a ride. Bain now struggling to get his car going once up again. But he's made it. Now to his outside. Stan Carnathan in the number 33 Chevrolet. Behind him, he's got Bill Rivers, Mike Honcho, Mike Kinsley in that number 12 Mike's Paint and Design Ford. An awesome looking car here. 8 laps into this race. Kinsley trying to find his way back up through that field, but just look at how tight it is for position. Arnold and York still duking it out for first. Still side by side out of that fourth corner, back where it's a bit more sane. Drivers not so much trying to get in each other's way, just trying a little bit of that co-opetition, to quote the great Darrell Waltrip. But York still steady on the outside. Is there anybody looking to make it 3 wide? You've got the 14 of Nate Lehman, who's drifting just high, but that window closed. Arnold still leading York, and he's got the momentum out of 2. Josh Franks now battling with Matt Boone for that 7th position. The number 6, me. Chevy Camaro. Love the Ricky Bobby in there. Absolutely love that. The 151 of Brian Lee sitting in the 12th position there. You've got Pierce in that 88 car next to Enrique Quiñones in the number 9. Quiñones riding right behind Cole Snyder in that number 24. No guesses for finding out who that car is an homage to. The great Jeff Gordon. There he is. There's that 24 looking all so familiar. Cole Dog in the 11th position to the inside of the man they call Papa Bear, rocking that number 71. Talking about Mike Campbell in that Ford to the outside, trying to crack that top 10. Jake Millsap sitting in the 9th position now. That number 19 Toyota Supra trying to make his way. He finds himself behind the number 9 of Boone. Master Killer says, hello, Rick and Chad. What's going on, Master Killer? Glad to have you here, pal. Have not missed a thing. 11 laps into this race. Josh Arnold still leads Nate Lehman. Michael York has lost some of the advantage on the outside line. Ford, Chevrolet, your top 3, 11 and a half laps in. If you've just recently joined us, I'm Rick James, bringing you uninterrupted green flag coverage of the Mike's Paint Design season opener from Daytona. That time by Michael York leads in the number 25 HendrickCars.com Chevrolet. Chad Swatsworth behind him in the number 1 Monster Energy Chevy. Then you've got Nate Lehman on the inside. Matt Boone also backing up that high side with his support. Drew Jua in the Voyager number 4 to the inside. He's following Nate Lehman up the inside line. Josh Arnold still leading at Daytona. Bit of a blink from that 14. Hopefully that's, look at the bump drafting there. Oh, so close. That is where it gets its most dangerous. Lehman really putting his front bumper on the back end of Arnold. Lucky number 13 laps underway at the world center of racing. That car's slow. The 17 of Zach Meredith. Master Killer says, these cars are absolutely amazing. Master, it doesn't get any better than iRacing, my friend. We're here for 90 laps of action around this famed 2.5-mile tri-oval. Jordan Bain, our defending champion, but right now, the pilot of the number 28, finding himself up against it, having to climb his own struggle mountain. Right now, he's behind the 12 of Mike Kinsley in the Mike's Paint and Design Ford. The 71 of Meredith about to be swallowed alive, but how will they get around him? Josh Arnold on the inside line has a clear path. Meredith to the outside. How will he stay out of that way? There the field trying to get around him. The 71 car stays as glued to the wall as he possibly can. Contact from Swansworth and a save from Michael York. Glove save into 3 and they're wrecking behind him. There goes Kinsley. There's the 26 of Hunter Peach up against the wall, collected by the 33 Skull Bandit car of Stan Carnathan. And caution number 1 out at Daytona International Speedway. What a save from Michael York, and it's an absolute shame we could not stay green. Wow. 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 And I know it's early, but that has to be a very good candidate for our Cole Trickle move of the race. Have one more look at Michael York. Watch how he saves this thing. That looked like already, yep, he was already out of control there. Let's go back and have a look. Just contact from the one of Swansworth. Glove save from car 25. Matter of fact, we're going into the cockpit view. Have a look at these hands. Gosh. And now here's Hunter Peach. Gets caught up in that one. And it looks like everybody just backed up there. You saw the lap down car of Zach Meredith getting involved. Oh, and there's Peach getting run through again. And the 33 of Stan Carnathan, the Skull Bandit car. Nope, that's not the Skull Bandit car. Who's in that Skull Bandit car? So Michael York, still your leader, 15 laps into this race. Everybody coming down for tires and for fuel. Jose Ruiz in the number 23. Oh, there it is. I thought it was the 33. I had that wrong. That's Jose Ruiz in the number 23 Skull Bandit car. Everything getting all sorted out. So Pierce is now going to take the lead ahead of Brian Lee in that number 151. Randy Bousquet being scored as the leader, but this will all sort out. Drivers will catch the pace car. We'll get ready to go one more time. This gives us our first chance to take a 60-second break, and we'll be back for 21 ad-free minutes of action. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the Mike's Paint Design season opener from Daytona. One to go at Virtual Daytona. Michael York leading this race at the moment of first caution. Let's bother York and see how his race is going so far. Mike York, Rick James up top. You got me?
I do. What's up, buddy?
Hey, man, we're looking at you right now in that 25 car leading this race. 17 of 90 laps underway. How do you feel about the start of this season? Are you confident that you're going to be able to start with a W?
Oh, yeah. I'm surrounded by a bunch of friends, man. Everybody's pushing real nice. Like, I almost lost it, wrecked the whole field right before that caution came out. But
we saw. No, Mike, I'm saying that could have been the Cole Trickle move of the race. What a save. Glove save, Yorkie.
It was crazy, dude. The wheel almost got ripped out of my hands. But, no, I kept it going, and I think we're in good shape.
You look in good shape, and that's going to bring me to my next question. Michael York, what is your favorite candy bar?
Baby Ruth.
Baby Ruth. Good answer. Hopefully, you get that winning candy bar at the end of the night, buddy. Keep it in one piece.
Thanks, sir.
Mike York getting ready to go racing, as are we. He's to the inside of Josh Arnold, and this time he will be the control car coming to the line. If you've just tuned in, I'm Rick James bringing you uninterrupted green flag action of the Mike's Paint Design Xfinity Series from Virtual Daytona. This is the season opener, round number 1 of 15 in this incredibly fun series. The pace car peels off, and we're about to turn these hot rods loose one more time. York is the control car. He gets the green flag, and we're racing. To the line, it's Josh Arnold leading the first lap after restart by 1/100th of a second. Is that York again? Yorkie's gone for a huge spill down the front straight, and it's another glove save from Michael York in that 25, and the Ohio native. Wow, just absolute skillful hands, despite the fact he goes from the lead all the way to stone dead last. Let's have a look and see how Yorkie absolutely lost the car. There he is. Was there contact to car 25? Let's go back and have a look. It looks like it may have been bump drafting, and it indeed was bump drafting from car number 8. Let's go back to the that gearbox view and have a look. No, it wasn't. No contact at all. It looked like Josh Franks may have gotten into the back end of the 25, but York now running 23rd with no draft help. Kind of got in his own way. And now, look at Mike Campbell, a.k.a. Papa Bear, leading at the front. Jordan Bain behind him, but here comes Josh Arnold with help from Cole Snyder in that 2-4, side by side, 3 rows deep out of 3. Fight for the lead. Josh Arnold has led the most laps so far of the 20 that we've run. Arnold to the inside line. Papa Bear to his outside line. Cole Snyder sitting in 3rd. Jordan Bain, the defending champion, on the outside in that number 28 Ford Mustang. The 14 of Nate Lehman blinking a bit. Hopefully, it's not any internet issues. Master Killer says, great job with the layover. This is all SDK, pal. SDK Racing and Design. I merely just make the logos and the race facts. Shameless plug. Yup, I made that. I'm amazing. Josh Arnold leads this race. Papa Bear to his outside. Bain helping along. Carnathan in that number 33. Riding behind the number 6 of Josh Franks. And you can see drivers just trying to stay steady. Trying to keep their wits about them. Mike Honcho in lucky number 13th position. He's rocking the number 37 Ford. Bobby Pierce, who was leading this race briefly, now in the 12th position. Who's that went out of line? That's Nate Lehman in the 14. Has it been enough of those blinking internet issues? Lehman skipping along the inside, and the number 14 Ford Mustang backs out of the lead pack, gets right in front of Zach Meredith. Mike Campbell still leading in that 71, aka Papa Bear. Josh Arnold behind him in that 24, and then it's 2x2, 4 rows deep for the 3rd position. 23 laps underway, almost 3 wide for 5th. Jordan Bain leads the outside line. And there goes Campbell, right in front of the field. The 6 collects him, and it's a big wreck in front of everybody. 3, 4, 5 cars involved. The 24 of Cole Snyder gets into it. The 151 of Brian Lee has been involved. And Papa Bear Campbell, leading at the front of this race, snaps loose like a twig in turn number 1 and gets collected by his peers 23 laps into this race. Let's take a look at what brought out the yellow flag for the 2nd time today. There's Papa Bear Campbell. Look, literally, like balsa wood or a stale pretzel, the way he just snaps loose in front of the 22 of Josh Arnold. Have a listen. And that's really all you need to see, isn't it? That's really all you needed to see. Have one more listen and look at the 22. Caution number 2 flies over the racetrack. Papa Bear Campbell getting his tires, his repair. That's going to put Jordan Bain, Josh Arnold, and Enrique Quiñones in the top 3. Josh Arnold currently leading in car 22. Let's see if we can bother Josh Arnold about his race. Josh Arnold, Rick James up top. You got me? Josh Arnold, Rick James up top. You got me?
I do.
You're There we go. Had myself muted. You're leading this race ahead of Jordan Bain and Enrique Quiñones. You're coming down pit road for tires and fuel. Don't let me disturb you on your pit road duties here.
Oh, no, you're fine. I want to give a shout out to Mom and my roommate watching out there.
Big shout out to Mama Arnold. J-Paw, it's going to be a tough race given the fact we've had a couple of cautions in these first 25 laps. However, the competition seems stiff. Do you have a race-winning car tonight?
I do. I always bring speed to these super speedways. I just used my fast repair because of that wreck, but we're going to get back out there.
Inside or outside line, Josh?
Always outside.
Always outside line. Maybe that'll be the winning move at the end of the night. But J-Paul, that's going to bring us to the most important question all evening. Josh Arnold, driver of car 22, what is your favorite candy bar?
Zero.
Hero, you know, that's a good one, man. That's a good one. All right, buddy, we're going to let you get back to work. Best of luck. Bring it home in one piece.
Thank you. Hey, Mom.
Can't hate a man that gives a shout out to his mama. Ben Lee now leading this race in that 151. He's going to have Michael York behind him in that 25 car. Looks like we're getting one to go this time by. Let's bother Ben Lee and see if he thinks he can win this race. Well, it looks like Ben Lee actually not available for chat. Nope, he is. So we're going to bother him anyway. Ben Lee, Rick James in the booth. Got a copy?
Yes, sir.
You're leading this race coming to 1 to go here, Ben. We're 25 laps in. What have you learned in this season opener?
Try to keep out of the rigs, man. Everybody's been pretty squirrely here. Best thing to do is try to keep your car clean and try to keep it up front.
For all the North Carolinians back home, man, do you think you've got a shot to win this Xfinity title?
It's all going to be pretty close, man. I believe I got a good shot. I'm going to try my best.
Inside or outside line, Benny?
Inside.
Yeah, all day, baby, all day. All right, man.
All day.
All right, let's, there we go. Now we got to move you back to your correct spot. What chat did I pull you out of, Ben?
XME, or XRE.
There we go. All right, buddy. Before we do that, though, it brings us to the most important question of the evening, Ben. What is your favorite candy bar?
Snickers.
Good answer, buddy. Best of luck.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Love talking to the drivers always, but especially on my first night. This is the first, not the first turn down for what race I've ever commented, but the first time I've joined on for the full season of the Mike's Paint and Design turn down for what Xfinity series. So it's great to know these guys. I cannot wait to get to know the rest of these drivers and, of course, you, the fans, over the coming 15 weeks. Michael York on the outside. Benny Lee on the inside. Matty Boone and Jordan Bain starting behind them in row number 2. Duct Tape Fan 06 says, let's go number 19, cheering for Millsap in that Supra. Jake Millsap starting there on the inside of row number 4. But Benny Lee will have the control coming to the line. Green flag is out. Down the back straight, Michael York has sole possession. He is your new leader at Daytona. Matty Boone behind him. Enrique Quinones now in the 3rd position. But Quinones on the outside of Lee. This for the 3rd spot. Behind Quinones, you've got Jake Millsap in that number 19 Supra. Jordan Bain to his inside, and then Shad Swatsworth in the rose-colored number 1 Monster Energy Chevy. 25, 38, 9. Your top 3 at Daytona. Randy Bousquet in that number 29 car, sitting 12th right now, trying to make his way up through this field. Bousquet behind Honcho, now Nate Lehman in the 10th spot. Started on the pole, but he has fallen almost outside that top 10. Jordan Bain in single file ahead of Josh Arnold in car 22. Now getting to the outside of car number 4. Drew Jua without a drafting partner on that high line. Now headed down into the tri-oval. York, Boone, Quinones top 3. Millsap, Swatsworth, and Jordan Bain 4th, 5th, and 6th. Drew Jua rounding out that top 10 at this second pack here. Mike Honcho sort of leading the cavalry and picking up these last 3 stragglers with no draft partners. But here comes Papa Bear up on the outside line, talking about Mike Campbell, who finds himself several positions down, and he's got time to make up. Just trying to get up closer to that field. Travis Anderson in the number 82 TJ's Team Chevy. He's rocking behind the 23 of Jose Ruiz in the Skull Bandit Chevrolet. Carnathan in that 33 got involved in that action last time around. He's trying to stay alive and in one piece. Stan Carnathan now on the outside. He's made his way up to 17th. Brad Herman up to 15th position in the number 85 Ford. Kurt Swatsworth trying to come up in the 18 Monster Energy Supra. His brother Shad up further through this field. Running 3rd, as it were. Chevys on the podium. York, Boone, Swatsworth, Jordan Bain just on the cusp. 4 Chevrolets in the top 5 as Enrique Quiñones rounds out that first 5 spots. But you gotta give it up to Bobby Pierce, running 8th right now, up 16 spots from where he started. In that number 88 Chevy, he has cracked the top 10, and he keeps on moving. Lester in the chat says, glad Kurt regularly making content. Lester referring to the OG Modified TRS race we had at Iowa. It was a thrilling finish for the neutral fans indeed. But now we've got this awesome Xfinity action with Swatsworth in the number 1, getting help from Matthew Boone, in that 38, trying to overtake Michael York on the high side of 4. "32 laps now underway at Virtual Daytona. The drivers putting in lap times of right around 47 seconds. The one of Swatsworth to the inside, just edging out Mike York for the top spot, but it's a drag race down the back. Jordan Bain in the 28 getting well out of line. Nate Lehman in the 14 making his way into the top 10 once again. Lehman running in the 10th, 9th position, depending on where he sat, behind that 88 of Bobby Pierce. There you see Lehman blinking behind Lehman a couple of spots. Hales in that 53. Billy Hales trying to catch up to the front of this field. Behind him, Zach Meredith in that 17. Up ahead of Billy Hales, Jordan Bain, now on the outside of Lehman in that Milwaukee Ford, but at the front, back to the drag race for first. Swatsworth and York not letting up. Couple of wrecked cars here. Looks like Mike Kinsley in the 24 of Cole Snyder. Kinsley in that number 12. Mike's Paint Design Ford. Behind the 24 of Cole Snyder, and look at the leaders come. Swatsworth with an undisputed lead. He's the new leader at Daytona. Boone now behind him in that 38, and it's J. Paul Arnold in the 4th position. The largest gap of any of the top 16 drivers, 0.6 of a second. There's Zach Meredith in the 12th position. He's looking to crack the top 5, getting to the outside of the 12 and 24 car, respectively. Boone in the 38, all over the back end of Swatsworth, leaving room for Josh Arnold to draft up. But you can't forget about Michael York on the outside in position number 7. There's Yorkie with help from Drew Jua in the 4. Jua back to the inside line, and York has been left to dry like an old summer towel that nobody wants, not a single draft partner, and Yorkie will go all the way down to the top 10 where Bill Hales looks to take him for 9th. Papa Bear Campbell currently running in the 22nd position, 1 lap down, trying to become the first driver on the lead lap. Get that lucky dog position. York trying to go around the hard way, sucking up to the 28th of Jordan Bain, sitting in 6th. Bain, Boone, York, the top 3 on the outside, and they're looking to take Billy Hales with them in car 53 at the front. 1, 22, 88, Chevy, Ford Chevy, Chad Swatsworth, Josh Arnold, and Matt Boone, your top 3. But now look at Boone make his way into 2nd, and we've got another drag race for the lead. Boone edging Swatsworth through the first 2 corners. Swatsworth on the outside with big help from that 22 car. Now barreling into 3. Who's going to lead out of 4? quickly approaching the halfway mark. Zach Meredith in that number 17 car just off the tail end of the draft. Boone trying to get up closer into that top two fight. He's got Jordan Bain behind him. There's York, who's worked his way up to third on the outside line with help from Quiñones in the 9. Starting first after that restart. Lee just all over the place, and Benny Lee losing all sorts of momentum. He's going to need a caution to get back onto the lead lap. Riding along with Travis Anderson in 15th. And you heard Anderson in the 82 TJ's team car just feathering the throttle out of 4. I don't know if he's trying to save fuel or what have you. A green flag pitway, though, should be right around 35 laps tonight. But, of course, a couple of cautions have thrown that into nowhere. And now look at Jordan Bain coming from the 11th position, trying to take that lead. He's got help from Swatsworth in the 1. Matt Boone on the outside will come down in front of Jordan Bain, and your new undisputed leader at Daytona in car 38, Matt Boone. Boone, York, Bain, your top 3 down this back straight. On the outside, Michael York in the 25, Enrique Quiñones in the 9. Then you've got Jake Millsap in the 19. 2 Chevys and a Supra on the outside line. On the inside, Matt Boone in the 38. You've got Jordan Bain in the 28. Shad Swatsworth right now in 5th in that number 1 with Josh Arnold right behind him. Arnold, who's led the majority of the laps today. How will he fare trying to get around traffic rather than leading it? And the last time we had a lap car on the outside, it brought out caution number 2, Benny Lee, sticking to the outside line right up against that wall. Hold on to her, Ben. Manages to stay out of everybody's way. Hats off to Lee. At the front, though, York challenging for first place. Boone with a great head full of steam into 3. Jordan Bain running in that 2nd position behind the inside line leader. Here comes Mike York trying to draft off of lap traffic. Will he cut in front of Boone? No, he doesn't need to, but he's taking Quiñones with him. Millsap 3rd on the high side. New leader at the World Center of Racing, Michael York. Josh Arnold in the 8th position. He's got help from Bobby Pierce in that 88. Kurt Swatsworth running 10th right now, trying to get up to his brother Shad. Leave these Swatsworth boys apart from each other, because when they get hooked, it is game over. Randy Bousquet rocking the number 29 car in the 12th position. He's going to tuck in behind Bill Hales. Down to the line, York leading Boone, still side by side, and you can start to imagine this is what a finish here could look like. York on the inside still has support from Quiñones coming out of turn number 2. Josh Arnold slowly creeping his way back up through the top of this field. Travis Anderson falling back down to 15th, driving diligently behind Herman in the 85. Brad Herman running 14th right now. Mike Honcho in the 37 car sitting 16th ahead of Nate Lehman Jose Ruiz in the number 23 car with no drafting help. Same with Stan Carnathan. The 23 and the 33 are going to have to work together if they want to get anywhere back towards the front. But meanwhile, Jake Millsap in the number 19 Supra, he's trying to find his space. He sits fourth in line on the outside line. Michael York, undisputed new leader once again with Jose Quinones behind him. Matt Boone leading the charge on the outside. Boone almost in that vacuum hole. Jordan Bain saw an opportunity to go to the inside. Matt Boone trying to side draft off of Mike York. 43 laps complete. We're slowly approaching halfway. '24 car of Cole getting out of the way very, very elegantly. Hats off to car 24, Cole Snyder. Mike York, however, still leading. Quinones behind him in that 9, catching up to the 12 of Mike Kinsley, running stone dead last in that 27 car. Mike's just got his repairs. He's still fighting brilliantly. Mike York leading, but Kinsley on the inside line, forcing everybody to go around him. Not the safest idea at 180 plus, but now look at these drivers accordion themselves out of turn 4 and relax. Everybody now with a little more breathing room out of turn 4, but the cars behind him not out of the woods yet. Mike Kinsley now has the draft. He's sitting ahead of the 19 car of Jake Millsap, behind the 22 of Josh Arnold. Kinsley just trying to be up there for when that next caution comes out. We'll hit halfway, this time by York, Quinones, Arnold on the inside line. Chevy, Ford. Meanwhile, up on the top side, it's the 38 of Matt Boone, the 28 of Jordan Bain, and behind him, it looks like the 88 of Bobby Pierce. To this line, Matt Boone leads Michael York at the halfway mark. Now Boone has a clear shot to cut down in front of the 25, but he won't. He'll stay with his draft partner, Jordan Bain, behind him on the high side. 46 1/2 laps complete, but here comes Yorkie with a head full of steam out of 2. Still drag racing, but this time they've got a threesome of lapped cars ahead that they need to get around. This is going to be one of the most dangerous maneuvers of the night. Boone topside with Bain behind him. Where is Yorkie going to go? York going down to the inside, and it looks like he's coming down for tires and for fuel, but nobody, and I mean nobody, is coming with Michael York, and if it stays green to the end, that is going to be a disaster. Matt Boone, your new undisputed leader, as the 151 gets in front of the leader. What is he possibly thinking? Such a dangerous move at this point in the race, and Ben Lee, just a massive obstruction in turn number 1, and it is an absolute miracle they did not crash out of 2. Oh, man. Take a deep breath. All right, and breathe. That was something else. And everyone makes it through mostly unharmed. Jordan Bain, still your race leader in car 28. He's got Matt Boone behind him and Enrique Quinones sitting in third. Fourth in line is the lapped 12 car of Mike Kinsley. Running fourth is Josh Arnold, and in fifth you've got Jake Millsap drafting with Kinsley in that Toyota. There's York now re-entering the racing surface, all too slow with no drafting help, and such an unfortunate look, but it's Bain, Boone, Quinones, your top 3, approaching 49 laps of racing. Bain and Boone still 1-2, so the status quo hasn't changed at the front. Meanwhile, going through this field, there you see Lee in the 151 making it 3 wide for a couple of cars trying to get around him. Mike Honcho up 8 spots from where he started in the number 15 car. I'm sorry, in the 15th position in the number 37 Shelby Cobra car, drafting with Travis Anderson, this for the position. And it seems like most of the drivers have settled down. It is single file for the most part. Drivers just trying to ride around until that next pit stop. Let's ride around with leader Jordan Bain and see how he chooses to get around Daytona. Bain still ahead of Boone, and Josh Arnold getting a bit closer to Enrique Quiñones. Jake Millsap trying to get a bit closer, but Kurt Swatsworth has been inching his way closer to this top 5. The driver of the number 18 Monster Supra now in the 8th position. He's got help from Drew Jua behind him, and Billy Hales rounds out that top 10. Arnold running in that 4th position. Again, drivers just settled for the moment. Everybody trying to find a drafting partner, trying to find who they're going to dance with. At the back of this one, Zach Meredith. He's made some headway as well. Meredith sitting in the 12th position, trying to draft Randy Bousquet for a ticket to the top 10. Behind him, you've got Brad Herman in the 85, Travis Anderson and Mike Honcho rounding out your top 15. Jose Ruiz, the Skull Bandit, in the number 23 Chevrolet. He's got to get a move on. He finds himself just a bit up against it. He's sitting 16th right now ahead of Nate Lehman, and they have such inferior draft partner to these leaders. There's Jordan Bain, now down the back straight. Looking back at Jose Ruiz in 16th, Ruiz is now exiting turn number 4, Jordan Bain entering turn number 3. So these drivers really hoping for a caution in these next few laps. Ford, Chevy, your top 3 at Daytona. Josh Arnold in 4th in his Ford Mustang, and Jake Millsap rounding out the top 5 in his number 19 Toyota Supra. Quite a long race today, 90 laps equaling 225 miles at the World Center of Racing. NASCAR's been coming here since 1959, and today just adds to the legend. The Mike's Paint Design season opener, winding down its laps, and what a race it's been so far. At the front, Jordan Bain has not moved. He's led the most laps today. Enrique Quiñones, there goes Bain. He's been turned around. And there's the caution that some of these drivers were hoping for. Bain and Boone getting together out of 4, but we stay green. Enrique Quiñones leading this one with Josh Arnold behind him. No yellow at Daytona. Approaching 35 laps to go. Enrique Quiñones still ahead of Josh Arnold, and defending champion Jordan Bain gets an amazing turnaround out of turn number 4, and it puts Bain all the way down to the 9th position, and there's the 151 of Lee. Now they're wrecking behind him. Lee's been involved. That looks like the 69 that's also been involved as well. Randy Bousquet not being involved in that one. And drivers now coming down pit road. No caution that time around either. We stay green despite the 151 of Lee colliding with a couple other cars as well. That's going to put Josh Arnold at the front of this race, but of course he's coming down pit road. Driver's still moving at speed, so I can't imagine we're under a caution period. There's Josh Arnold exiting pit road, still with the lead. Here comes the 14 of Lehman, getting one of his laps back. Jake Millsap drafting with Arnold in that 19 car. Here comes Drew Jua with help from the 6 of Josh Franks. Franks finding himself in the 23rd position, 3 laps down, but still urging the leader. And remember Zach Meredith, who had that first accident. Zach Meredith now finds himself 4th, up 13 positions from where he started. Two big spins and green flag pit stops unfolding. Cindy Thompson says, "Go some, Josh," cheering on for Josh Arnold. Still the leader, but he's got Jake Millsap behind him, and here comes the cavalry. Jua, Meredith, Herman, and company. Jua now looking on the outside. Will it be an easy overtake for the 4 car? Trying to draft up behind the 19 of Millsap. Will he overtake? Will he just go to sit in line? Jua to the outside now. He's got a big push from the 6 of Josh Franks. On the outside of Josh Arnold. Will he clear the 22 into 3? He's almost there. Now he just needs to duck to the inside. Your new leader at Daytona, Drew Jua. .33 laps to go at Daytona International. Jua, Arnold, Millsap, your top 3. The 6 of Josh Franks sits in 23rd, 3 laps down. And you just saw the 17 of Zach Meredith getting left out to dry like an old baked potato in the sun. He tucks in now behind the 5 car of Mike Allen, who's running 24th, also 3 laps down. Billy Hales running in the 5th position has gained 10 spots from where he started, but you gotta give it up to Mike Honcho running in the 8th spot. That 37 car has moved up 15 positions since the green flag flew. Josh Arnold running in 2nd, now looking on the outside to get around Drew Jua. Here comes Arnold in that 22. Will he pull off the move into 1? Arnold with minimum help from the 19 of Millsap. It's 2x2, 2 rows deep. Tandem drafting for the lead at Daytona, approaching 31 laps to go. Arnold on the outside, doesn't have Jua yet, but they are neck and neck into 3. Here comes Josh Arnold. Jua on the inside, he's got help from Josh Franks. Arnold has to back out, but now he's got more momentum down the short chute. Across that line, Josh Arnold leads Drew Jua by 3/100ths of a second. Headed into 1, the 14 of Nate Lehman, slow on the inside line. Will he remain on that inside line? Your new leader is Josh Arnold with Jake Millsap in 2nd. Drew Jua moves into 3rd for the time being. It's Ford, Toyota, Chevrolet coming to 30 laps to go. Rocking those pink rims there. The box cave number 22 Ford. Ahead of that RC Toyota. And then the Voyager Camaro sitting in 3rd. Matt Boone in the 8th position now. That's where he started. Kurt Swatsworth in the number 18 Supra. Sitting in the 9th spot. The 38 Matt Boone in the 8th spot. Rounding out your top 10, Bobby Pierce in the number 88 Rays Motorsport, is that Rays Energy? That doesn't look like Rays Energy to me. Rays Energy car. He's sitting ahead of that 37 of Mike Honcho. Lots of drivers moving all over the place. Still competition just settled in for that cruise, waiting for the final 20 or 15 laps so they can make that call to action. So far, drivers single file and loving it, just waiting for their opportunity to strike. Millsap looking to the outside, but just nothing doing there. Repeat says, great racing. This is the part where the drivers need to be patient. This is the long single file bit before those final 10 laps of action. Meanwhile, the 85 of Brad Herman sitting in fourth, just outside that podium. He's got a half-second advantage over Billy Hales in fifth. Then you've got Zach Meredith, who's sitting half a second back. There's a couple of lap cars between himself and Hales, so there's a lot of driving still to go and a lot of strategy still to play. Drivers should not be able to make it to the end from here. Matt Boone just ahead of Kurt Swatsworth. Jordan Bain in front of them as well. Bain 4.2 seconds off the pace of the top six. Looking at the gap between Bain in 7th and Meredith in 6th, over the last 5 laps, you can see that Zach Meredith has been slower for 4 out of those 5 circuits. A bit of a disorganization in the drafting from this secondary pack. We'll see what the numbers say this time across the line. Jordan Bain crosses the line with a 47.30. I'm sorry, Zach Meredith with a 46.81. Jordan Bain with a 47.31, and Meredith slower still. The gap now 3.8 seconds between Bain in 7th and Meredith in 6th. It's a half second being killed off every single lap. Bain is getting closer and closer as the circuits tick down. Back to the front. Josh Arnold still ahead of Jake Millsap, but now we've got Brad Herman leading the charge on the outside. His number 85 Ford Mustang just to the outside of Billy Hales. 25 laps to go next time by. Still one more pit stop on the horizon. If you've recently joined us, I'm Rick James, and this is the Mike's Paint and Design season opener from virtual Daytona International Speedway. You're looking at Josh Arnold leading Jordan Millsap through the corner. Drew Jua sits in the 3rd position. You've got Brad Herman in 4th, Billy Hales rounding out that top 5, and Zach Meredith slowly but surely losing that gap to Jordan Bain in 7th. Quiñones sitting 12th right now. Enrique Quiñones in that number 9 car. He's just ahead of that 69. There is Brad Rivers in that 69 car drafting with the 9 of Quiñones. Rivers, however, 21st, 2 laps down. Quiñones with some work to do. Quiñones sitting 12th on the lead lap, but that's his only draft help. His other draft help was Jose Ruiz in the number 23 Skull Bandit Chevrolet. Ruiz right now sitting 19th, 1 lap down, all chasing down Nate Lehman in the 14 car. Lehman finds himself scored as the first car 1 lap down, and if the yellow does come out, Nate will find himself back on the lead lap. And Lehman, who started first, certainly looking for a better start to his season than this. Millsap retains the 2nd position. Drew Jua sitting in 3rd. Brad Herman's efforts do not pay off, and Herman still sitting in the 4th position. But look at the gap that Herman has between himself and Jua. It's now down to a 1/10 of a second, but Herman has a great run out of 2. He's got the opportunity to gain positions headed into 3. Once again, shout out to Repeat hosting in the chat. Iste Finesse following. Alpha York hosted as well. Cannot forget the good folks like Hop Along Cassidy, who followed. J-Paw using 22 bits earlier. Simdi Thompson followed today. NASCAR Fan 1217 followed today. All the folks from the TRS modified race earlier tonight. This doubleheader Tuesday, or we should call it a 2-race Tuesday. How about that? This 2-race Tuesday is something we're going to be doing for about the next 7 weeks. So Tuesdays are about to get a lot more fun on Rick James TV. Make sure you follow and subscribe for non-stop action. Coming to 22 laps to go, car 22, Josh Arnold. He will lead the most laps today, but will he lead the most important lap? The final lap. Jake Millsap behind him in the number 19 Supra. It's Ford, Toyota, Chevrolet, your top 3 approaching the final 22, and they're 3 wide, 4 wide behind him coming out of the corner. Kurt Swatsworth in the number 18 Supra. Going to the high side, now to the outside of Nate Lehman, who's driving behind the 71 of Papa Bear Campbell. Cars starting to get close together. They're starting to get dicey. They can feel the end coming. Matt Boone in that 38 has worked his way back into 6th. The 26 of Hunter Peach not on the lead lap, but Peach ahead of the 18. These lap cars, although they're not fighting for a lead lap position, could be very instrumental in who ends up winning this race. Drivers last pitting on lap 55, which tells you they'll have to go 35 laps, to go all the way to the end, which is going to be a bit of a stretch, you must admit. For some of these drivers that was saving fuel the whole way, not so much. For drivers like Josh Arnold, who have been leading the majority of tonight's event, it could be a bit of a stretch. Big shout out to the good folks over at Mike's Paint and Design for bringing us this race today. You can find them out on Twitter with premier work in all your iRacing designs. Check them out on Twitter. The 85 of Brad Herman in the TJ's Team Ford, now behind the 6 car of Josh Franks. Franks not racing for the lead. Franks not even racing for the lead lap. Josh Franks finds himself 2 laps down, and the fight for the lead now between the 22 and the 85. Josh Arnold reclaims his lead and tries to take Jake Millsap with him on the inside line. That's the 4 of Drew Jua on the inside as well. Frank's getting a bit close to the leader there. He's got a bumper full of the 85, but you can't forget about Jordan Bain on the outside line in car 28. He sits ahead of Matt Boone in that 38. Drivers starting to mince, slice, and dice through the field. 19 to go. The 22 car just ahead of the 19. The 6 of Franks still trying to side draft in that Ricky Bobby Cougar Chevrolet. You gotta love it. Coming up behind them, though, look at car 53. Billy Hales in the Pit Boss Chevy. He's got Papa Bear Campbell drafting behind him, but Hales will now get a taste of this lead lap pack. And coming to 18 laps to go, the drivers are closer than ever. $18 to go. Arnold leading Millsap. Drew behind him. And a whole mess of cars still fighting for those spots. It's a 15-week season, and points will be of the utmost importance. But today, it's all about the season-opening win at Daytona. Millsap in second, biding his time, saving his fuel. Drew Jua, he controls almost everything here. It's up to the 4 car to decide whether to support the 19 or the 22, and he doesn't have many more laps to make that decision. Look at Nate Lehman now on the outside, car 14. He sits in the 16th spot, the first car 1 lap down, and Lehman trying to manually unlap himself. Talk about guts. Who's your dancing partner? Who do you have? Who's going to take you to the end? Kurt Swatsworth on the outside with no draft help. He's got to rely on Josh Franks in the 6. Repeat, cheering 100 bits. My man, Repeat, 1975. Love you, pal. Thank you so much. Send my love to the 1975 family. A couple of members of Repeat's family working in the medical sector and doing a lot during these times, but the racing offers a great chance for us to know, love, and congregate with Repeat and friends. Folks, if you love your sim racing but don't have anywhere to enjoy it, come on down to Rick James TV. Well, let's get you involved with some leagues if you want to drive. Let's get you involved with a couple leagues if you want to just be a fan. Hit me up on Twitter. Let me know what's up and be a part of this exciting racing over the next 4 months. Josh Arnold on the inside line, still drafting with Millsap. These two have been inseparable all race long, and it's all about the inside line. That's where the leaders are. On the outside line, you've got the 14, the 26, and the 6. That's Nate Lehman in the 14, Hunter Peach in the 26, and Josh Franks in the 6th. All 1 or more laps down. The 18 of Kurt Swatsworth, the first lead lap car on that outside line. 14 laps to go. This time by. If you're not here yet, what are you doing with your life? Twitch.tv/Rick James TV1. Come catch the, well, and I completely spelled that wrong, botched it up, because here I am not focused on the racing. There we go. Twitch.tv/Rick James TV1. Go share that link like it's wildfire. Get some people in this race. Let's enjoy the end of this show. Josh Arnold to the inside of Nate Lehman. Not for position, but Lehman really taking advantage of all the space on the racetrack. Cole 315 says 22, 19, 9, and 24 are all teammates. The 22 and the 19 are teammates. What does that mean for the 4 of Jua? For the 85 of Herman? Drivers that are trying to get up into those spots and disrupt this teamwork. Lucky number 13 laps to go this time by. And if they can make it on fuel, drivers have to be careful about who they choose to draft with. Cole Snyder, first DNF in that 24 car, says too much damage forced him to retire, but now Cole in the motorhome enjoying this finish. Josh Arnold at the front. Thank you, Cole. Love you, buddy. Millsap. A dozen laps to go. It's going to be hockey sticks on the board. 11 left when they cross that line. Arnold, he'll get the bonus points for leading the most laps, but it's all about the dub. Millsap, comfortable riding along in that second position, but for how much longer with 11 to go? Go time came and went a long time ago. If you're not in the top 5, where are you at? These drivers really need to get a move on is that Swatsworth that's slow on the inside line, trying to gain some sort of advantage, maybe a run, but he's got defending champion Jordan Bain right behind him, and up ahead, Mike Honcho in the 37 starting to pull away. Swatsworth catching up to the back end of Honcho. These drivers need to find a dance partner soon. 10 at the line, and they won't have a lot of moves to make it. Drew Jua in that Ford car controls the destiny of the 19. Where will Jake Millsap choose to go, and will Jua go with him? Jua can either push the 19 to victory, or he can push the 22 to victory. Will he find a route for himself? It all lies with car number 4, and there's 9.5 more laps to figure it out. Josh Arnold in car 22 has not been left alone for the last however many some laps. It's been rather incredible how long he's led here. There goes the 14 and the 26 slowly fading out of frame, and the lap down cars will remove themselves from the race winning situation. It's 9 at the line. Drivers really starting to get spread out. Fantastically spread out. Did Bain come down pit road? He did indeed. Jordan Bain came down pit road. Drew Jua, new leader, and was he running out of fuel? Was he running out of fuel? I wonder. Pierce down pit road, Bain down pit road, and this could be the mileage. This could be that mileage that forces the drivers to pit at the end. We didn't know if they could go 35 laps to the distance, and it looks like they can't. Here come the remaining leaders, and a speeding penalty now will end your race. Woe it down. Get it under that mileage. You can't afford a speeding ticket now. Cole says they need one last stop, and here they are making it. Enrique Quiñones in the 3rd position, moving at speed now, drafting with the 25 of Michael York. Where will Quiñones re-enter the track? Jua motionless as he's getting his tires and his fuel down pit road, waiting for the 4 to go. Here comes Quiñones in the 9. Excuse me. Quiñones does not pit through the tri-oval with 8 laps to go. Enrique Quiñones with a head full of steam. Billy Hales leading this race in the 53. He's about to be overtaken. There's the 53. There's the 9. And the new leader with 7 to go this time, Enrique Quiñones. The number 9 Box Cave Chevy leading by his lonesome with draft help from Michael York in the 25, but when will he come in? Does Quiñones have the fuel? Last pitting on lap 55, and he cannot make it. Quiñones, the last of the leaders to come down. He will relinquish that lead, and that's going to put Brad Herman on the point for the first time today. New leader in car 85. It's Brad Herman. 6 laps to go. Here comes Matt Boone. Here comes Bobby Pierce in that 88. NNR Lee following recently. Appreciate you, Lee. Glad to have you here, buddy. Get ready for this. 6 to go at the line. There's Brad Herman, and there's contact from Boone. Leader goes for a spin. Bain, Jordan Bain, your new leader, and the 38 just trying to block diligently. There goes Bobby Pierce to the lead. Swatsworth in the way. Driver starting to wreck behind him, and it's a crash out of 4. Cars finally coming together. There goes the 4 of Drew Jua. Caution is out, and it's Bobby Pierce who started 24th out of 27 cars, leading this race, and it will be a restart with fewer than 5 laps remaining. And have a look at this. Take a look at the 85 of Brad Herman. He went for Well, there's Herman, there's Boone. Have a look at Herman here. Let's slow this one down. I want to see exactly what happened. We need a better angle here. Okay, so here's Herman defending. It looks like Boone's coming to his inside. Herman was about to defend the position, but far too late. Yup, and you can see his hands turn to the left and already going to the right. One more time in real time. You can see Boone was just trying to defend his spot. Or Herman was trying to defend his spot. Matt Boone struggles to keep it together. This is where everybody starts to bottleneck. Boone loose off the apron, and Carr's already wrecking ahead of him, and that was the catalyst of that late block by Brad Herman. So Boone survives. He's still being scored as 4th. Brad Herman, however, well down the running order. He is in 8th. One-handed Baron says, awesome job. Appreciate you, Baron. Thank you so much. And that was a crazy crash. Master Killer says, late block. And we are going to have to agree. However, get ready for this. Fans at home, pre-rolls are off, so we're going to take our final commercial break of the evening. It's a big one. We're going to take a 3-minute break, so you get a chance to get a late snack, stretch those legs. We are going to come back after that 3-minute break with the conclusion of the Mike's Paint and Design opener from Daytona. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in 180 seconds. 3 minutes. Pace car peeling off as we get ready to restart with 3 laps to go. Bobby Pierce to the inside of Jordan Bain. This is going to be crazy, as Baron says. The green flag is out, and it's 3 laps at Daytona. Cars need to get up to speed. It'll take them almost a full lap to get wound up to full song. Here they come. Five more miles. Next time across the line. Bobby Pierce leading Jordan Bain. Drag racing down this back straight for the lead. Matt Boone in the second position in that number 38. Does he have damage from that contact with the 85 of Brad Herman? Herman sits in ninth. He's not out of this race yet. There goes Boone to the outside of Pierce. This for the lead. 5 miles to go. White flag, next time by. It will be a race the next time they cross the line. Bain all over the back end of Boone. Bain getting really aggressive with Boone's back end. Now coming out of turn number 2. Will he turn him around? There's Boone up the middle trying to get off of Bain's bumper. Boone high once again, siding down the back straight. Drivers trying to stay safe, headed into turn number 3. They know the last lap comes out next time by. Look at Zach Meredith. He was in the first crash this evening. Now all over the back end of Bobby Pierce. Coming out of turn number 4, it's Pierce, Meredith, Jua on the inside line. Top side, you've got Boone, you've got Bain, and you've got some Calamity coming to the white flag. 2.5 more miles in the season opener. Pierce just ahead of Boone. Pierce, will he beat him to that line? Dropping down. 3/4 of a mile remain. Well, a little more than that. My math is terrible. 1.25 miles. It'll be 3/4 of a mile at turn 3. Not the point, but get ready for this, man. Matt Boone up the inside. Matt Boone on the 38. Bobby Pierce in the 88. Both of these drivers gonna come to a drag race to the line. You knew it would end like this as they wreck behind him. Bobby Pierce with the advantage. Boone gonna side draft. Coming to the line, it is Matt Boone winning at Daytona with a wreck at the end and calamity everywhere. Matthew Boone gets the W in a thrilling finish at Daytona International. Have you ever? What a finish. What a way to start the season. Fantastic way to start the season. Congratulations all around to Car 38. Wrecked race cars everywhere. But how about that finish? One more look. Here they are coming to the line, already wrecking behind them. The 88 car of Bobby Pierce, trying so hard to block for this win, comes right down on the 17 of Meredith, and that's when the drag race ends. Matt Boone all the way to the line, gets the dub. Jordan Bain behind him, and it looks like Pierce even managed to come home in third by 4/100ths of a second over Zach Meredith. So we're going to have top 3 interviews after Matt Boone's celebration. But talk about a great way to start the season. Matt Boone in car 38 gets the win by 6/100ths of a second over Jordan Bain. Donuts all around for car 38. And what a way to celebrate. Matt Boone gets the win. Fans at home, don't go anywhere. We're going to have top 3 interviews in just a moment. on the podium with our top three. And could you think of a better way to end the season opener? What a way to do it. We're gonna start with our third place finisher, Bobby Pierce. Bob, you came into this race starting 24th. 21 places later, you've got a bronze medal in the season opener in quite a thrilling fashion, man. What a race.
Yeah, that was great. I didn't qualify. I was going to try and avoid all the big ones. I avoided all of them, surprisingly. There was a couple of big ones. There was a few that happened on the front stretch. I avoided one on the back, but I got to give a shout out to my team. I mean, they just did an awesome job with the plan today. Just wish I could have came home with a win.
A podium is pretty good despite everything that happened for the team. Congratulations on that third place. We're going to see you next week at Vegas?
Yes, sir.
You better believe it, buddy. Good luck. Congratulations again. Now to our second place finisher, defending champion Jordan Bain. Champ, did you have anything else at the end?
Yeah, man. I mean, into these restrictor plate races, if you don't commit to the guy in front of you, that line's not going to work. And if there had been a move on the bottom, from Zach sooner or on the backstretch or something, I might have tried something coming to the line. But no, I mean, Boone, I don't know if he's won a race or not, but he's definitely deserves the win. And he and I worked together the entire race, and that wasn't really by design or anything. It's just we were around each other. I trust him out there on the track, and especially at a restrictor plate. And I mean, I kind of made my mind up before that last restart. If anyone was able to get in front of me, I knew he was restarting third, and I was like, well, if he ever clears me and gets in front of me, I'm just going to shove him. And if there's an opportunity to make a move, I'll do it, where it doesn't screw both of us.
Right.
And that didn't really ever present itself, so I just shoved his butt to the win, which and got second. So
Works either way. Way, man. The defending champion starts his season off in second. We'll see you in a week's time at Vegas. Congratulations, Jordan.
Thank you.
Our winning interview brought to you by the good folks over at Mike's Paint and Design. If you're a sim racer or just love the art yourself, head on over on Twitter to @MGCMike85. Get in touch with our very own Mike Kinsley, creator of these wonderful paint schemes. Get yourself some race-winning artistic magic with Mike's Paint and Designs on Twitter @MGCMike85. And now our race winner, driver of that number 38 Chevrolet, Matt Boone. What a win, my friend. I tell you what, in that penultimate caution, what happened with the 85 of Brad Herman? It looked like a late block there. And did you think that was going to happen again on that final lap? You and Bain were really close.
Yeah, that was an extremely late block. I was just gonna go to his inside. I knew my teammate was right in front of him, so I was just gonna tuck up behind him, and we were just gonna end up blowing right past him. I don't know. I didn't know what was gonna happen at the end of that race there. Bain was pushing me, and it was a handful to hold on to, but I held on to it. I think anybody who hasn't been doing iRacing, as long as we have, would have lost it, went around, wrecked the whole field. That thing was a handful, no doubt.
You still brought it home. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. You still brought it home to a victory, and in a week's time, you're going to take that good mojo to the desert of Las Vegas. Are you going to make it 2 for 2?
I'm gonna try. I got my first win here finally. It's been a while. It's been a long one coming. I got it finally. I'm pretty excited, pretty pumped. Hopefully we can bring this momentum on to Phoenix.
Pete says, #white knuckle driving, and that's what it was for 90 laps. But when the dust settles, Wisconsin's Matthew Boone gets the win in the Mike's Paint and Design season opener. Fans at home, that's going to do it for all our race action tonight, but what a great evening of fun. My first night in a full-time commentary position for Turn Down for What? My first night with Mike's Paint and Design, and what a great race to show off all the talent in this league. I cannot wait for the next 14 weeks of action. Until the next race in Las Vegas, everybody, please stay safe. Take care of each other, and we will see you all